Nah, he was cool though. I'm Noah White. I represent myself as Amenta Gardens. Mainly just a young farmer coming up, really. Somebody who tries to stay peaceful, stay on the path, and also just being courageous. But mainly really being like a reflection of nature. Actually, so far we've been getting a lot of mushroom compost, working on like soil health and soil quality. We just added some of the biochar too, that way the soil and plants have a lot of nutrients. And so we had our local connect, we got a lot of good mushroom compost, a lot of breakdown. So it'll be real good plant food, have a nice home for them. You see it's already nice. I'm out here with Bobby Eugene at GWYA Farm out here in Fairburn. Beautiful landscape, a lot of beautiful crops. I really wanted to come out, just touch ground, touch the soil. Like my great granddad on my dad's side, he was a farmer. He grew cotton and soybeans back in Mississippi, in Belzoni, Mississippi. That was back in like the 1920s and 30s, and so of course, you know, back in Mississippi, people was getting lynched at that time. A lot of crazy things going on with civil rights, but my great granddad, he was farming, teaching black men how to run tractors, and he even had a lot of connections just with Mississippi. So I come from his legacy, and also on my grandma's side, we have a lot of planters. Basically, they say I've incarnated the green thumb. Like my grandma, she was good with plants. My aunt is good with plants, especially like growing herbs. And so on both sides, here I am in 2024, returning to the land in the new generation. Really just doing everything that they did and doing more that they might not have been able to. So what motivates me, to be honest, for lack of better words, it was really like the land called me, to be honest. I grew up loving sports. I still like sports and like doing sports management. But I started with agriculture working at a summer camp. And just like harvesting collard greens, picking carrots for the first time, I was like, wow, this is just so new. Like looking at all the plants, all the flowers and herbs, and just looking over the farm, something just spoke to me. I was like, man, I really need to have my own farm. I want to learn how to farm. And then I did that for about 3 years. But once I finished college, I did like an internship. It was still too much, kind of like school, you know, saying having to dress up, got to do all this paper and computer work. I really want to just be on the farm, and I just dived completely in. And mainly I got into it for knowledge, for self-sustainability, that way I can learn how to grow my own food. But also like it gave me a sense of just like finding myself. And even like now, I was saying that I've actually found what I was looking for, because I found myself. But like now I'm just like enjoying or just living it out. Like now I'm just like I found a peace, and mainly I focus on maintaining that peace, maintaining just like the beauty, and really just going with the flow. Like being here and like being one with nature, like it allowed me to find who I am. And now I'm really like a walking plant out here. So now I'm moving, dealing, and now doing it in the human world. So back to original creation, where humans was first, even whether you want to say created or developed for our purpose of being on the planet. I'm here just to assist nature, whatever she need me to do, wherever she need me to go, that's where I go with it. Even to help these humans for real, because humanity needs a lot of help. So especially in my time, that's what I dedicate myself to, just teaching people, guiding us. We need to return to nature, because this is home. So.
Fellowship from Soulfire Farm.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
tell us a bit about what your project is, the name of the project, and what you plan to do?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a huge blessing and just perfect timing to be a part of the new fellowship from Braiding Seeds. And my project is focused on growing watermelons and mushrooms. I have a special affinity for watermelons. Of course, I love eating them, but really that was the first thing a lot of the elders told me to eat when I started to work on the farm. Like instead of drinking a lot of water, they're saying eat your fruits, and that watermelon kind of spoke to me. And then especially knowing the history of black farmers and watermelon. Like watermelon, of course, hydrated us while we're working, but it's also an entrepreneurial crop. Like it's one that can bring families together. We can slice a watermelon at a holiday, at a family reunion, and it brings us together. And same thing for mushrooms. I have an affinity with growing mushrooms when I was working with Farmer Chris. Rest in peace to him. We grew mushrooms indoors. And so just seeing the mushrooms grow, like of course you always hear about mushrooms, people talk about psychedelics, whatever, but I actually saw like oyster mushrooms growing, lion's mane mushrooms growing, and noticing the taste, and also noticing how it affected people. Like people from all over the world, all different races, love mushrooms. And so my project is focused on growing those, but also being an educational center. My passion really is dealing with the youth for real. Like especially like we all know what's going on, like youth crisis, but especially with our young black men. And so I really want to create my farm as an outlet for them. Like, y'all come out here to the farm, learn about yourself for one. We're gonna learn some discipline, learn how to work hard, and we're also gonna learn how to be entrepreneurs. Like, it's nothing wrong with working the job. Like, yeah, you can work at Walmart, work at CVS, or work anywhere, work for a corporation. But when these things fall, you have an economy literally out here. Like, this is an economy that man cannot touch. Like, man is not touching the sun. He's not touching the rain, the soil, the worms. Yeah, man tries to manipulate the plants with the pesticides and his GMO crops, but this is a natural economy that anybody can tap into. Whether you are growing plants for food and sustenance, whether you have products, even if you're building housing, we need people to build housing, electrical work. So the farm is literally a return back to ourselves. Like, that kind of even brings it full circle to my company, Amenta Gardens. Amenta Gardens, I started that because Black people, we need help, and just Aboriginal people in general, but it's more than just food and eating. We need help on a spiritual level. So Mental Gardens is a place where you can come to sit down for a second instead of having to be so answering all these emails, trying to rush here, do this, rush here, be seen here. Let's slow down for a minute and sit down on the farm. Let's listen to what the plants have to say. Let's see the changes that they grow through. Let's see the sacrifices, because especially us as young men, that's something that we can learn. Like, being great is actually a sacrifice. Like, to be honest, it actually hurts to be great, and that's something that I kind of struggle with, and that's something that I'm still refining with now, is because I'm striving and I'm just trying to be really not better than anybody else but my best self, but it hurts. Sometimes you have to make decisions. You might want to go certain places or do certain things, but that might not be what's best for you at the time. And even a lot of times we get used to working by ourselves, so even when you get to a certain level of greatness, now it's time to work with other people. I've achieved this point, but a lot of it I've got here because it's been easy to do it by myself. But now I have to learn how to work with the community. You know what I'm saying? I had to heal the relationship with our sisters and with our women. So that's something I look forward to. Like, Braiding Seeds, like, it's literally the start of a new reality. Like, I've been farming and I'm not gonna switch up. I'm not gonna change. But now I have tangible resources to actually put these things into action. Like, now I'm gonna have my own compost going. Like, now I have mushroom. Now you've known Noah for being a farmer, but now you're gonna be able to do business with Noah in the Mental Gardens. And now Mental Gardens can even help other young farmers, because I don't want to be the only one. I want to have 1,000 people be successful. So we really just coming up out here, y'all. We really doing the right thing, just staying focused. So it's a blessing. It's just a blessing to continue to work and represent. Like, I'm definitely not special. I'm just the latest one. Like, I'm just a little small little cell, but just the latest one who is shining. So I'm just enjoying this shine, teaching other people, and we gonna be great. So y'all lock in with us for real.